Hi guys, welcome to Reality React channel. In this channel, we watch reality TV shows to recap, review, and for the fun. Today, I'll be recapping the Mummy Club season 3, episode 7. And so it starts
with Vui, with her nanny. She is training her how to swim. She's teaching the nanny how to swim because she has a toddler and she has a pool, and it has not come to her attention that toddlers can actually be taught how to swim. But she wants to empower the nanny such that if the baby falls into the pool, then the nanny can help. And as they are teaching her, she says it's easy, and she's wearing a swimsuit that was bought by Vui, and she seems excited. She's eager. It seems like she can do it for a beginner, and if something happens, then she can empower herself. She can be able to fetch the child from inside the pool. But I'm just thinking that Vui, ma'am, just teach your child how to swim, so that if something happens, if they fall, then they know what to do, because it's better that way. That the child it's much. I feel like it's much better for the child to have learned how to swim themselves, so that if something happens, then they're able to help themselves outside of the pool. And then and I like this part because I was wondering, does we have a helper? Even though I in the intros and all of that, I have seen her pictures, but I was wondering if it's not the case where Radile and her nanny had issues and stuff like that. And talking about the previous episodes or the previous seasons, guys, don't you think that this situation happening between Peladi and Noxy is a similar situation that happened between Happy and Radile? Because these apologies that keep going on and on and on and on, and even in this case, you can see that Noxy, as much as she acknowledges on face value that it's okay, I want to be forgiven, I want to make peace, I want to I want I wanted to get your point of view of the whole situation, because I think that's part of their ironing out of the stuff. It seems like they have not forgiven each other, because on top of everything, she still says things like I'm dealing with a child, and I'm like, these are the things that you do not say, but they show in how you are handling the situation. You know what I mean? Like, it shows that you think that I am better, or I'm more of a better person compared to you in terms of behavior, which she is if we compare her to Peladi. But does she have to mention it? Does it have to be shown? That type of thing. Because if you want to accommodate another person and make them feel like they are also important one way or another, you do not make them feel like you are better in terms of, like, maybe you are more of an adult, you are more superior than them, because that's what Peladi had gotten from Noxy's vibe, that she felt like Noxy is a snob, she's their little white girl. And then Noxy tries to tell her that, babes, I come from humble beginnings, and she's almost crying. I think some of the things that these people say, I don't think that she's acting with the tears. I think some of the things that these people do, like, they can really hurt you, because the fact that she was even compared to Sarah Batman at one point, and then she was gyrating herself. She has the white DNA. Even in this case, Peladi is still mentioning the white DNA thing. And I'm like, I know that somehow, somewhere, there are people who fully believe that DNA is sexually transmitted like that. Apparently, there's a percentage of it according to science, but I don't think that is her behavior. Maybe I don't know. I just don't think that it's right for Peladi to be saying all these things. And she tries and explains to her that, as much as I talked about how your short hair is and whatnot, I was not saying that you are ugly or you look different in that way. I was just saying that I am noticing that you don't look the same, type of thing. So for you to assume that you think that I'm saying you are ugly is just a weird thing for her. And I'm just like, she's right, because this lady is moving in a way that is not acceptable. Because how did she sit through all of these things where you are being told, at one point I was talking the same way you talk, you don't think before you say things. I'm like, babes, some of the things you say, because you are saying that's her personality, that's her character, that's how you have received her, and that's how she is at that particular moment in time. It's not like I'm saying, I thought that's how you were. Like, I just think that some of the things that Peladi says when she's ahead are very mean. And also, now people are overlooking how beautiful she is, her features, her whatnot, because she's a beautiful girl, but the things that come out of her mouth when she's being a bully, no ways. Nah, she needs to do better. No, she needs to do better, shame. And then I'm just like, you know what? It's fine. They can just understand that they are not friends. And also, I think Noxy is acknowledging that in her diary session that she's not friends with Peladi and she has made peace with it. And it's okay, you know. And then we move to Mrs. J and Mrs. Sande. Mrs. Sande was taking out Mrs. J was taking out Mrs. Sande and Happy for a horse riding, and she says that Mrs. Happy will be a safe space for Mrs. Sande, because she wants to confront Mrs. Sande about the stuff that she said about her to Nozipho. And I'm like, to show that they are being told what to say and what to do, because I am sure that when they were on the call with Nozipho, probably Nozipho also told her what Mrs. Sande said about her, because it doesn't make sense that for some odd reason there are parts that you know, and then there are parts that you do not know. Even that confrontation was because of the TV people. And I mean, it makes it interesting, because what were they going to talk about? Her marriage, Nozipho's marriage, when Nozipho has indicated so many times that she doesn't want to talk about it. It would look wrong. And then Mrs. Sande and Mrs. J, that's the hot, and Happy, before they start the session, I don't know if Mrs. Sande was trying to tell I keep saying this, I need to call her by her name, because I don't know Mrs. J's name. So, or maybe I do, I just don't remember it. But they are doing all of those, they're horse riding, right? When they get there, Mrs. Sande wants to choose her own horse. And then Mrs. J tells her that that's not the horse you should be riding. And then Mrs. Sande also goes to a diary session and say things like, so I deserve the dark things. And maybe Mrs. Sande, she's doing that thing where I said that, you know, when you have a seer amongst the group, they see things that you do not see, and then they try and tell you what is happening in the spiritual realm when you are not ready. I think she's partly doing that, because that was a weird take to say, oh, don't rise the white horse, ride the other one. And you know, Sutus, Badokina Pere, whatever, that thing that the Sutu people, and I'm so sorry if I could be offending other people, but you know, Sutu people, they are either known for the Dibere, by riding Dibere de by Lesotho and stuff. So maybe her ancestors, Mrs. Sande's ancestors, were connecting with Mrs. J and telling her that she should ride a black horse. But before they started the riding, they prayed, and then they went to the farm. And when they got to the farm, she told them her plans. It seems like they are big plans with the plot. Remember, she's struggling with being a mom and being a healer and a church leader and all of that. So she wants to separate those things. She doesn't want to do the healing inside her house. So she wants to divide the 4-hectare farm into a mental institution that people could come to get help, but not that type of help though, not the psychological one, the way it made it seem. It's like the place where you can come to cool down, and maybe there will be yoga sessions. The way I understood it, it's not like she's going to be hiring doctors to come help you if you're having a breakdown, but yoga sessions, those type of stuff. And then another place for a church, then another place for a farm for chickens, poultry, and then for the spiritual healing Bungoma side of things, like 4 things in one place. And I'm like, that's a big plans. And they are both happy for her, both happy, and Mrs. Sande, they are happy. They hug her. Then immediately after the hug, she asked Mrs. Sande, what did you mean that you do not like about me? Tell me why Mrs. Sande is not answering the question directly. She's not saying, I don't want to talk about it, because that's what she tells us in the diary session, that she doesn't want to talk about it because some things are not necessary to confront people about, right? And I'm just like, then say that. Say that, and also say that I was just gossiping. It's fine to gossip. You are a woman. You are not Futa, you are a woman. You are a human being. You are likely going to gossip. Maybe whatever is going on with Mrs. J, you do not like. Or maybe it's just her aura you do not like, whatever. Just say that. But instead, guys, she takes it to mental health, how she is depressed, how she has anxiety, and how she avoids some things. And I'm like, say directly that I am avoiding your question. Also, Mrs. J is also saying the same thing, that I can see that she doesn't want to tell me, but it's not worth pursuing. And then she end up inviting them to go to a orphanage home where they can go help out for the day with their kids. Or Happy is the one that suggested that they should also bring their kids and all of those things. And I'm like, that's interesting. And also Mrs. Sande is looking forward to that session, because that event, because she thinks that it will teach their kids how to give back and all of those things. So while they are trying to confront one another, Mrs. J confronting Mrs. Sande, Happy is having spasms on her back, and now it's causing her chest to be in pain. Tell me why Mrs. J tells us that she saw that Happy's spirit was low, but she didn't say anything in her diary session. I don't know if I'm being dramatic or not, but I wish that, she could read the people in her diary session. She doesn't have to come back to the next season, because I'm actually they will confront her, and then the next mummies that will join the show will be uncomfortable around her because she'll be reading like nothing too personal, something small like, oh, Happy spirit seems low today. I think her chest might be in pain, or something to show the powers, that maybe, and that, that she has. I don't know. I think I'm being dramatic, but I would love to see that instead of her reacting and saying that she saw it coming. And Mrs. Sande also helps Happy as well. And Vuyi goes to the factory with the kids which her husband had owned, but it seems like now there's a change of ownership, or change of, beside the CEO, because that lady that they met up with, who was talking about the braai and saying that her husband used to make them braais and stuff like that. So they miss that about him, and he likes some orange t-shirt and stuff like that. And Vuyi, as a mom who knows that she has connections, she's connecting her child, Andiswa, to do like sort of like an internship or unpaid internship at the factory, because she's doing program management or something, or logistics, because also Andisa tells us in her diary session that she missed the mark while the dad was still alive, because he was keen on having Andisa work with him so that she can learn the ropes of the factory and how management of it works and stuff like that. And I find that very sweet of the family, because it seems like Vuyi's family was very intact, and even though she doesn't want to tell us how that man passed, because that's maybe the thing they want to hold on to. So first they meet up with someone that knows everything in the factory, and I think they are showing the kids the ropes around the factory, because the factory makes chips and makes cornflakes and stuff like that. So she's showing her kids those things, and they're tasting them and stuff like that, and they're visiting their hearts and all of that. And it seemed like an interesting thing for the 6-year-old. She's the one who seemed quite happy, I think, because she's oblivious to the whole thing. Like, she knows her dad is not around, but she's having a good time. And also she tells them that they are going to have a braai because it's been a year since the guy passed. So they want to do a remembrance braai of him celebrating his life and stuff like that. And then I don't know if we was not really involved in the factory business, because also that lady tells her that her husband used to do braais for them in the factory. So it's a norm for them. This is nothing new. Also, on the Happy Mrs. Sande issue, why is Happy saying that Mrs. Sande has not changed? Mrs. Sande has inherited beef. Like, which beef? Is she still beefing with Mrs. Mops through Mrs. J? Like, happiness should be. I hope those are the type of questions I want to be asked at the reunion. What does that mean? Who is she inheriting the beef with? Because from my point of view, Mrs. J should be treated as her own person as much as she's friend with Mrs. Mobs. But she doesn't have to be treated with contempt because she's Mrs. Mobs' friend. And also this lady, Mrs. Sande, she really has not changed. She doesn't know how to apologize. She doesn't know how to address stuff when she's confronted, because at one point she says she doesn't see the reason to apologize, but you're apologizing in Mrs. J's face. Why are you making her a fool? Just say you are not apologetic. Whatever was discussed between you and Nozip was supposed to be in between the two of you. Bring the drama if there's drama behind all of that. Just so that it doesn't appear as if when they go to the reunion, they'll be attacking her. Like, she wants it to appear like that, because what do you mean you don't want to do anything? And also the next scene is Noxy going for first aid class with her helper, so that if should something happen with her little one, the helper will be able to help. And then she finds out that the person helping them is actually a Kumalo, and they start talking about how they are brothers and sisters, and she's happy that she met someone like him because they are go-getters and they like helping people, because that's the thing that I got from that. So the next scene is Happy and her family. They are planning to go out with the kids at 9 a.m. only to find out her older daughter is decided to go out the previous night to Makubenjal. And then the way she talks, guys, in the diary session, she sounds so proud. Very much proud, because how do you say all of those things in that tone and not be a proud person? She says that when her mom was looking for her, she could see her. And Yana, she was getting jealous, and she's just not having it because she was woken up. So we didn't see the part where Happy woke her up because she had slept for like 3 hours. Catch a nap. She came back in the morning, and then she dragged her outside of her room and stuff like that. And then now they are busy looking for her all over the house. So because she's frustrated and all of that, she calls her friend Vui to come help her. Remember, Vui and Happy apparently stays in the same estate. So Vui comes in, and then they decide to go look for this girl somewhere else. And she says that she could see them. So like, it's a mess. I think Happy raising Titi is challenging for her, because Titi is her own human being. She doesn't want to be told what to do and when to do it. She just wants to be the one that's in control of the whole thing. So when her mom says we are leaving in the morning, she just said, you will not see me there because I am going to have fun, and then you will sleep alone in your own house. And also, when she was not sleeping at home, how did she get out? I know teenagers are very just human beings, because I don't think that she's still a teenager, or if she's a teenager, she's probably 19. So I'm saying that I know that they make means to make things happen, but I just want to understand, how did Happy miss that? How did she miss that her daughter was not sleeping at home? Maybe Mrs. J was right when she said that Happy is not sleeping at home as well, because she has in-daughter, and that's making her sleep outside the home. So V comes in. So what I didn't like about V and Happy going to look for Titi is the fact that the other child, Tirelets, was being treated like in contempt, as if she has also done something. When someone is angry, they answer you in an angry tone, as if you're part of the reasons why they are angry, when they know who made them angry. Like, she knows it's Titi who made her angry, but she's angry also at Titi, at Tirelets, or like, why? And also when they went to confront look for her in some other house, they also had the same demeanor, demanding, you are lying. No, I saw that you were at Makubanjalo yesterday. And I'm just like, this girl is not your child. She's not the one you're supposed to be mad at. Like, choose know who you are angry at, not at the same at all the people. So they don't find Titi even when they go around looking in the hall, in the estate, and accusing girls and stuff like that. But she's confronting some other girl, telling her that you went out to Makubenjalo. What was the reason? And then she says that it was for a birthday celebration. So Titi actually had two birthday parties, the one her mother organized and the one she organized herself. I think what makes Happy frustrated with this whole thing is the fact that she didn't communicate with her. And now she's saying that she wants her child to go on some camp and go to boarding school. She doesn't want her at the house anymore. I'm like, Mommy, no ways, that's not possible. And she's crying about the fact that she could have raised her own enemy, because it seems like Titi is just fighting with her no matter whatever she does. So she's just not happy with her own child, and she just thinks that she's sent to destroy her life, type of thing. And I'm just like, Happy needs to relax. Kids will always be kids, guys, no matter what we do and what we try and all of those things. And also, you see how she is always using this profanity when she talks. This is how her kids even talk, because of how she talks. Those type of things, I just feel like maybe they took after her. Like, the way she talks is just weird. And in the next scene, we see Noxy with her friend Rosetta, and she's trying to tell her that they went out for dinner. She had tried to resolve issues with Peladi, and she also tells her that, you know what, Peladi called me a snob. And also Noxy, what's her name? Rosetta confirms the same thing that Noxy said in terms of how her humble beginnings and all of those things. And also, we noticed that Peladi and Noxy, they didn't actually even forgive each other, because Noxy did not forgive her. But anyway, she had invited her to her dinner that she's organizing, and she also invites Rosetta to the same party. And I'm just like, she's trying to brew some spice in there. And also for Noxy, who's a Zulu girl, to say that when she came to Johannesburg, people were speaking English and Isisutu, and she was not understanding anything. She struggled. So she doesn't like the connotation that she didn't struggle, or she comes from some huge thing that's happening in her life. And I'm like, I get it, but it's not true that the Joburg people, the most spoken language in Johannesburg is not isiZulu. It could be English, but isiZulu comes second. I don't believe that it could be lower, unless if she went to Pretoria and then she's calling it Johannesburg, then that's not our fault. Actually, I would like for Rosetta to one day answer, what did she mean by Noxy is like a fine wine that you need to take time to brew, and then she blooms into a nice person, because Yana, she also doesn't take be as she walks. I want to know, what does that mean? Does it mean that what Peladi and them are saying, that Noxy was a bit mean to them and Noxy was condescending and all of that and passive aggressive and all of these things? Is it true that she's like that until you get to know her? And also her joke sounds like jabs. Is that what's happening? Because as she's an old person, she should know that if you are making a joke and no one is laughing, it means that the joke is not funny and you're trying to make fun of other people. So that type of thing needs to be dealt with. And here we go with the classicism that that Happy has, because why does she need to mention on the show that her child is going out with people who stays Gomukuku? And that's part of the reasons, because Titi tried to come back and she wanted to get inside the house through the window. So she was not happy with that. And then she says she must go back to wherever she comes from. So, guys, I initially doubted Vui in terms of assisting Happy with this whole thing with her daughter Titi. But it seems like Vui is a good friend to Happy, because when Titi ran to Vui's house, she accommodated her, tried to, tell her what not to do when she's talking to her mom. As much as her mom could have been wrong, but she's also wrong. Like like that thing of saying, do not talk back at your mother. As much as your mother, you think that your mother is shouting, like you guys are of the same age and whatnot, but there's a level of respect that you need to show to him, to your mom. And he also talked to her about her dreams. And it seems like Titi is no longer wanting to be a DJ because she just wants to have millions. She just wants to make millions per day. And when she talks to Andy, who did not want to sleep with Titi in the same room, because she just said, that's my room. Maybe she doesn't understand why can't Titi sleep in the guest room if they have any. And then you just find out in terms of how she's talking to her, and also trying to encourage her about school and listening to her mother. Like, she's not dismissing that Happy could be a bad mother, because I think that's what Titi is implying, that, oh, she's a bad mother to Titi because, Titi is feeling herself. And also we found out that actually Andisa was lying when she said she didn't know where Titi was the previous night, because Titi, Andisa was supposed to lie on behalf of Titi, that type of thing. And also, I think it shows that Happy was actually not at home, because if your daughter goes out to eat, normal parents do not sleep in while not knowing where their daughter is and stuff like that. And then they wake up and drag them and exchange words that are not like profanity and all of that. And I believe that she did. You know how Happy has been talking throughout the seasons. Hey, Masipa, hey, what? Like, the type of languages that's not right. And then she decided. So we asked if Titi can sleep at her home, and then Happy is saying in a direct session she can literally take her forever. Yeah, now she's done with this child because this child is trying to kill her. And then the next episode we see Kitty calling Andy. Vuiswa to tell her that, you know what, my mom is in hospital and she is not doing well. And she went, yeah. And then we also see Mrs. Sande going to see a psychologist, talking about her essay experience in terms of the abuse that she went through. And maybe this is part of the reasons why she behaves the way she behaves. And I'm just glad that whoever is directing this show decided that Mrs. Sande needs to address her anxiety issues, because she was abusing it. Like, and I'm not trying to undermine it with abused people. With abused people, it's just that I feel like it's difficult for them to live in a world where they're supposed to act normal when their lives have not been normal, type of thing. Like, it's not a realistic approach where we are not empathetic towards them. And I think that's what Mrs. Sande needs, someone to hold her hand and tell her that whatever happened to her is likely not going to happen again, and how to address whatever happened to her. Because I feel like that's also important, because as much as people will tell you it will not happen again, if you have not addressed that, if you have not healed from it, it will still continue to seem like it's still continuing to happen when it's not. I think that's how abused people behave. Thank you guys for watching up to so far, and thank you to the people who have subscribed to the channel. To the new people, please subscribe to the channel and like the video and comment, and let's keep the conversation going.